You're probably confused right now. One article tells you omega-3 is essential, another warns you about omega-6, and then you look at your kitchen and think, I'm eating normal food, so why does this feel so complicated? This is exactly where most people get stuck. They're trying to do the right thing, but the information sounds conflicting, dramatic, and incomplete. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the whole picture. Not surface-level tips, not fear-based rules, but how omega-3 and omega-6 actually work inside your body, why balance matters more than labels, and why by the end of this, everything will finally make sense. Let's start with one simple rule, because this is where all the confusion begins. Omega-3 and omega-6 are both essential fats. Your body cannot make them. You must get them from food. Both are required for survival. Both have important jobs. The issue is not that one is good and the other is bad. The issue is ratio. For most of human history, people consumed omega-3 and omega-6 in roughly similar amounts. Today, the average person consumes 20 to 30 times more omega-6 than omega-3. That single shift quietly changes how your cells behave. I want to repeat this because this is important. The problem is not omega-6 itself. The problem is imbalance. Now let's talk about what these fats actually do, because this is where people get misled. Omega-3 and omega-6 are used by your body to create signaling molecules. These molecules tell your immune system when to turn inflammation on and when to turn it off. Omega-6 derived signals tend to promote inflammation. Omega-3 derived signals tend to resolve inflammation. Inflammation is not the enemy. You need it to heal injuries, fight infections, and adapt to exercise. But when inflammatory signals dominate and never fully shut off, the body stays in a low-grade stressed state. This is why you're confused. You don't feel acutely sick, but you don't feel truly well either. I once worked with a woman in her early 40s who described herself as healthy but inflamed. She had joint stiffness in the mornings, afternoon fatigue, and constant sugar cravings. She cooked at home, avoided junk food, and exercised regularly. When we looked at her fat intake, nearly all of it came from vegetable oils, salad dressings, nut snacks, and packaged health foods. Her omega-6 intake was extremely high and her omega-3 intake was almost zero. Nothing dramatic was wrong. Her system was just constantly irritated. This is where people get stuck. The next thing to understand is how fats affect metabolism, because this is not about calories. Fats become part of your cell membranes. Every hormone receptor, including insulin receptors, sits inside those membranes. Omega-3 fats make cell membranes more flexible and responsive. Omega-6 heavy membranes become more rigid and reactive. This matters because rigid cells don't listen well. Insulin has to work harder. Hormones have to send stronger signals. Over time, this contributes to insulin resistance and metabolic slowdown. This is why eating less doesn't always work. It's not a discipline problem. It's a signaling problem. This is also where popular myths cause real damage. You may have heard that vegetable oils are heart healthy because they lower cholesterol. That sounds logical, but it's incomplete. Lower cholesterol numbers do not automatically mean healthier arteries. Excess omega-6 intake increases the likelihood that LDL particles become oxidized. Oxidized LDL is highly inflammatory to blood vessels. This is cause and effect, not opinion. You can improve a lab value while increasing internal inflammation. This is why you're confused when blood work looks fine, but your body feels off. Let's talk about the brain, because omega-3 plays a critical role here. DHA, a type of omega-3, is a structural component of the brain and nervous system. When omega-3 intake is low, the brain still functions, but efficiency drops. People often describe this as anxiety, low mood irritability, or poor focus. I've seen people who thought they had a motivation or personality problem, when in reality their nervous system was under-supported and inflamed. When omega-3 intake improved, sleep quality changed first, then mood stabilized, then focus. Where this didn't happen in days. It happened over months. This is important. Slow progress is normal. Lack of instant results does not mean it isn't working. Now we need to address omega-6 directly, because this is where misinformation spreads. Omega-6 is not toxic. Your immune system uses it to mount responses and repair tissue. The real issue is volume and source. Omega-6 from whole foods like nuts and seeds behaves very differently than omega-6 from refined seed oils used in frying, fast food, and packaged snacks. Refined oils are easily oxidized, especially when heated repeatedly. Oxidized fats place additional stress on the liver, blood vessels, and immune system. This is where people get stuck. They focus on one nutrient instead of the overall food environment. This is also where omega-3 supplements get misunderstood. Many people take fish oil and expect it to cancel out everything else. But if omega-6 intake remains extremely high, omega-3 is constantly fighting uphill. It's like trying to calm a fire while still adding fuel. Real progress comes from reducing excess omega-6 sources while gradually increasing omega-3 from fatty fish and, when appropriate, supplements. This shift lowers inflammatory pressure at the cellular level over time. We also need to zoom out and look at the larger system. Omega-3 and omega-6 do not operate alone. Sleep determines how efficiently inflammation resolves. Chronic stress raises cortisol, which amplifies inflammatory signaling. Poor digestion limits fat absorption, meaning even good fats may not reach your cells. Sunlight affects circadian rhythms, which influence hormone sensitivity. Muscle activity helps direct fats toward repair instead of storage. This is important. Fats work best when the system supports them. Toward the end of the day, the deeper issue is chronic inflammation and metabolic dysfunction. Omega-3 doesn't magically fix everything, but it helps restore balance where communication has broken down. It improves insulin sensitivity. It supports hormone signaling. It stabilizes cell membranes. Over time, people stop measuring success only by weight or lab numbers and start noticing better energy, steadier hunger, improved recovery, clearer thinking, and more stable moods. These are signs the system is healing from the inside. When omega-3 and omega-6 are balanced correctly, the body becomes more resilient. Inflammation turns on when needed and shuts off when it's done. Hormones communicate efficiently. Metabolism becomes steadier instead of reactive. This approach isn't extreme or trendy. It's powerful because it aligns with human biology. And once you understand how these fats truly work, you stop fearing them and start using them as part of a sustainable, long-term path to better health.